Hello, everybody. This is Abena. I hope you are doing good today. Well, today I'm going to read with you a book, a story titled The Secrets of the Old Clock. So join me and let's read. Grab a cup of water or juice, anything that makes you relax, and join me to read. So we're going to read the first chapter, couple pages of the first chapter, then we'll end there. The title of the first chapter is The Rescue. So read with me. Nancy Drew, an attractive girl of 18, was driving home along a country road in her new dark blue convertible. She had just delivered some legal papers for her father. It was sweet of Dad to give me this car for my birthday, she thought, and it's fun to help him in his work. Her father, Carson Drew, a well-known lawyer in their hometown of River Heights, frequently discussed puzzling aspects of cases with his blonde, blue-eyed daughter. Smiling, Nancy said to herself, "That depends on my intuition." An instant later, she gasped in horror. From the lawn of a house just ahead of her, a little girl about 5 years of age had darted into the roadway. A van turning out of the driveway of the house was barely 50 feet away from her. As the driver vigorously sounded the horn in warning, the child became confused and ran directly in front of the van. Miraculously, the little girl managed to cross the road safely and pull herself up onto a low wall which formed one side of a bridge. But the next second, as the van sped away, the child lost her balance and toppled off the wall out of sight. "Oh my goodness," Nancy cried out, slamming on her brakes. She had visions of the child plunging into the water below, perhaps striking her head fatally on a rock. Nancy leaped out of her car and dashed across the road. At the foot of the embankment, she could see the curly-haired little girl lying motionless, the right side of her body in the water. I hope Nancy dared not to complete the harrowing thought as she climbed down the steep slope. When she reached the child, she saw to her great relief that the little girl was breathing normally, and no water had entered her nose or mouth. A quick examination showed that she had suffered no broken bones. Gently, Nancy lifted the little girl and, holding her firmly in both arms, struggled to the top of the embankment. Then she hurried across the road and up the driveway to the child's house. At this moment, the front door flew open and an elderly woman rushed out, crying, "Judy, Judy." "I am sure she will be all right," said Nancy quickly. The woman, seeing Nancy's car, asked excitedly, "Did you run into her?" No, Judy fell off the bridge." Nancy quickly explained what had taken place. By this time, another woman, slightly younger, had hurried from the house. "Our baby, what has happened to her?" As the woman reached out to take Judy, Nancy said soothingly, "Judy is going to be all right. I will carry her into the house and lay her on a couch." One of the women opened the screen door and the other directed, "This way." Nancy carried her little burden through a hallway and into a small, old-fashioned living room. As soon as she laid the child on the couch, Judy began to murmur and turn her head from side to side. "I believe she comes to in a few minutes," said Nancy. The two women watched Judy intently as they introduced themselves as Edna and Mary Turner, great aunts of the little girl. "Judy lives with us," explained Edna, the older sister. "We are bringing her up Nancy was somewhat surprised to hear that these elderly women were railing such a small child. She gave her name and address. Just as Judy opened her eyes and looked around, seeing Nancy, she asked, "Who are you?" "My name is Nancy. I'm glad to know you, Judy." "I'm glad to know you, Judy. Did you see me fall?" Nancy nodded. As the child's Aunt Mary said, "She rescued you from the river after you fell in." Judy began to cry. "I will never, never run into the road again. Really, I won't," she told her aunt. Nancy said she was sure that Judy never would. She patted the child, who smiled up at her. Although Nancy felt that Judy would be all right, she decided to stay a few minutes longer to see if she could be of help. The child's wet clothes were removed and a robe put on her. Mary Turner started for the kitchen door. "I would better get some medications and wet compressors for Judy. She's getting a good-sized lump on her head. Nancy, will you come with me?" She led the way to the kitchen and headed for a first aid cabinet which hung on the wall. "I want to apologize to you, Nancy, for thinking you hit Judy," the woman said. Excuse me. "I guess Edna and I lost our heads. You see, Judy is very precious to us. We brought up her mother, who had been an only child and was orphaned when she was a little girl. The same thing happened to Judy. Her parents were killed in a boat explosion 3 years ago. The poor little girl has no close relatives except Edna and me." "Julie looks very healthy and happy," Nancy said quickly. "So I'm sure she must love it here." We're going to end here today and we'll continue in the next video. I hope you like the video. Please drop your comments about what you think about the story and what you also think, your opinion about the moral lesson in the story I just read to you, and how you applied that moral lesson in your everyday life. Stay blessed, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.